very good afternoon. It's Thursday, the 28th of September. It's 1 o'clock, which means it's time for a light bite lunch. Our guest today is Claire from Clever Little Handies, and I'm sure we're going to really enjoy the next half hour chatting with Claire about all things to do with her business. So grab a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, sit back and relax. Good afternoon. Yes, indeed, it is the Light Bite Lunch, and I'm Rory Devon, and I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Claire from Clever Little Handies. So, Claire, I know we've a huge amount to talk about. I know we've been talking about getting you back on the show. It must be nearly a year since last year's award since we started talking about it. And I'm delighted we finally managed to track down a time when we could drag you away from doing what you love. So, before we get into talking about the business, perhaps you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your own background first.
Oh, thank you so much, Rory, for that lovely introduction. So, my name is Claire, and my business is Clever Little Handies. It's a baby sign class. It's and a book now as well. A baby sign program that I started in 2019 when my little man was 6 months old at the time. It started really informally and then kind of grew and grew into more of a proper production, I suppose. And then during lockdowns, I pivoted to bring it online to give new parents something to connect over in the isolation. It's really isolating having a baby, and then it was kind of compounded with all of the restrictions and stuff. Like I remember tearing my hair out when I had my first two. My first was 10 years ago now, and I'd be at home with the baby, kind of going, "Oh my God, what am I doing today?" But I could have gone out. I could have ran out and met friends in Costa or gone to a jamboree class or any of those things, because there was no restrictions and I was able to go. My mom was able to come in and help out with the baby and stuff. But when all of those restrictions happened, I think that the new parents are really, really feeling it, and that they couldn't kind of pop into their neighbour, or they didn't have family knocking in to check on them or any of that kind of thing. So the classes kind of really took off during the pandemic, and I was doing the classes through various libraries around the country. I approached 27 of the 31 local authorities. So I had classes for Kerry libraries and Leitrim and all around the country, all but 4 counties. I think I had managed to do a session for, but it was a virtual session. So it was on Zoom and it was like this, but it meant that when it was with the library, that it was a group of Galway mummies. You know, it wasn't a national kind of thing. So at least that group at the end of the 4 weeks, after getting to know each other, they could kind of go, "Oh, I'm going to Salt Hill for a buggy walk if anyone's around," and they kind of get together that way. And now that we're back to in-person events, I'm doing them in person again. Still doing them with some of the libraries, Kildare, South County, Dublin, and doing my own classes as well. And I have an online class that I run through Eventbrite also, and I published my first baby sign book this year.
Absolutely brilliant. So it's fair to say you've been busy.
Yeah, yes,
So tell
Exactly fair to say.
like before you started the business, did you actually know sign language yourself?
I did. The first I had ever heard of sign language or baby sign, well, I mean, the first I'd ever heard of sign language was when I was 12, and it was on the back of the yellow pages. If anyone here or watching is old enough to remember the yellow pages and the white pages, and there was an alphabet on the back of the yellow pages, but it was British Sign Language. Now back then they were trying to call British Sign Language International Sign Language, and sure, we're not having a bar of that. Every country has their own sign language, and anyhow, at 12, I didn't know the difference, and I taught myself the British Sign Language alphabet from off the back of the yellow pages. Taught my friends in school, and we used to we used to play cards in school and like communicate by finger spelling out what cards we had. And then the first I heard about baby sign language was about 18 years ago, and my sister was teaching my niece baby sign, and at that time I was kind of eye rolling, going, "Oh bloody notions, what next?" Like, until I saw my niece doing it, and I was like, "Oh, she's a genius! This is so cool!" And I realized then that babies actually can use their hands before they can use their mouths. That it's not a notiony thing. That it is actually a real deal thing. The book that she had. This is the book that she had. This is about 18 years old, maybe a lot more. It was probably maybe 20 years. And this one is based on British Sign Language. And a lot of the books, if you go on Amazon, a lot of the resources that you can find in baby sign language are all American Sign Language or British Sign Language. There is very few resources in Irish Sign Language. I was able
And
to.
like on that, is there a huge difference between the various sign languages?
Common with American Sign Language because we use a single-handed alphabet, a single-handed manual alphabet, and it comes from France, believe it or not. So it was a French guy that had travelled. He brought it to Canada, he brought it to America. Irish, I guess, decided. Uh-oh. And then British Sign Language has more in common with Auslan and New Zealand Sign Language, and there's a few others where they use a two-handed alphabet. But there's heaps of sign languages available, and then baby sign language is really paring it back. Also in Ireland we've got love sign. So love is the Irish word for hand, and then love sign is another sign language that's used here in the UK. The equivalent would be Makaton. So there is differences, and they are their own language. And I'm trying to give the same number of Irish Sign Language resources, um, trying to bring that to the market, American Sign Language and British Sign Language.
So, so
The version of it.
what gave you the idea to actually say, do you know what? There could be a business in this, and that's where Clever Little Handies was born.
Well, when my little guy was 6, 7 months old, it was the end of 2018, so coming into 2019, I had gone to a baby massage class with him as a mum, not a teacher, so as a participant. And with that group of mummies, we went and we did mum and baby yoga. And then we did the next baby class. He was my third baby, and I wanted to do all of the things because I realized the importance of getting out of the house and meeting other mums with their babies. And the class that we were doing was kind of irrelevant. What was important was getting out, meeting other mums, and having that kind of debrief of like, why is he up all night crying? Oh, it could be a sleep regression, or have you tried this, or have you tried that? Like it's that kind of conversations that happen. Um, so I had said to the group, oh, I'd love to do a baby sign class with him. I went to a baby sign class with my eldest when she was about 4 months old, and it was in Nace at the time. And I had wanted to go to that class again, but it was no longer available. There was nobody doing it, and they said, "Oh, sure, you have your sister's book and my animals in Irish Sign Language. So you have the knowledge, like we'll just meet up. We're used to meeting up on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Let's just meet up here next week and you show us. And that's how it started. It was born out of a lack of an alternative. And I was doing it because I just wanted to see these women every week and with their babies and to discuss everything. So that's how it happened, really informally. And then it very quickly grew and grew and grew. And by the end of that was the start of 2019. And by the end of 2019, I was doing the class in 7 locations. So I was doing them in Rathcoole, in Kilcock, in Selbridge, Maynooth, Clane, Leaflet, and there's one more, Strafford, 4 o'clock. Can't remember. But yeah, there was 7 locations by the end of the year, and I was still bringing Ewan with me to the classes because at that stage he was still, under 18 months. He was still kind of babyish, and it just meant that it was easy for me to do something with my baby. So that was kind of how it happened. And then, sorry.
No, absolutely. I mean, like, it's a lovely story to hear that how it came about. Now, before we go on, we just have to take a quick break for this. I think Cheryl has something ready for us there. Yes, indeed, the Ballyconnell Craft Fair is back this week, and anyone that gets a chance to drop in, I know the team at Dowling would love to see you. They have an amazing range. It's somewhere I love to go. It's only on every few months, and somewhere I personally love to drop into. And for more information, you can check out Downland Crafts on all the social media pages. You'll find them. You'll find all the information about it. So that's this Sunday at the Sleeve Russell Hotel from 12 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Great opportunity to pick up the early Christmas bargains, but we're not allowed to mention the C word, so we'll say no more about that. So you then, carrying on with your story then, you went from having the few classes and then the other dreaded C, COVID, hit.
Yeah. And I was asked back in March 2020 when the first lockdown came, I was asked, have you heard of Zoom? Would you do it online? And I was like, oh God, no, that sounds horrible. I'm trying to get parents out of the house, meeting other parents with their babies. It's so horrible when you're at home and like tearing your hair out, but I need to talk to another grown-up, not like another baby. And I initially balked at the idea, and then after a few months, when it wasn't just 2 weeks to flatten the curve, it became 2 months and 3 months. So by September 2020, I had developed an online course. Like I had before COVID, I had leaflets in the classes. So I would give out little pamphlets to people to take home, to the participants to take home, not homework, but just so that they had something to refer to. So essentially what I did was I took the leaflets, the pamphlets, and I created a slideshow so that people could watch what was kind of these images behind me instead of it just being a bit boring with me, that they had something a bit more interactive. So I created a slideshow, and then I was running the classes during 2020, 2021, and I'm still doing online classes as well as the in-person ones. And yeah, so that was 20. Oh yeah, and then this year was the book.
Absolutely, and we will come on to the book very, very shortly. Now, as you know, Claire, every guest that comes on the show is asked the same question. What for you is the perfect light bite lunch?
Oh my gosh. Like,
Like
me, I'm always on the go. That stumped me now. Something easy.
Yeah.
It's like a brioche.
Brioche is always a good choice. Absolutely. I mean,
And if it's during the lockdowns when it was all homeschooling and all that, it was the leftovers, the kids' leftovers. I'd be making sandwiches, and I always see it like the kids' sandwiches going to school where they have like jigsaw pieces, or it looks all nice and like dinosaur shapes and stuff, and then you've got like mum's or dad's lunch is the offcuts, the crusts, all the stuff that's kind of left behind the pretty sandwich. That's my ideal light bite lunch.
yeah, no, absolutely. And again, like that is the lovely thing about it, is for everybody, it's something that everyone has their own opinions on, and there's no right or wrong answer on it. We all have the things we love to. I mean, today, myself and Cheryl are actually spoiling ourselves after the show today. There's a lovely little coffee shop in Ballycommel called Aroma, and they actually have a list. I think it's 12 or 15 sandwiches long. Each one is named after a country. And I mean, for example, there's one is Polish sausage with, what else is on it? There's lettuce, there's tomato. They do an amazing bruschetta. They do a whole range of stuff. So for us today, that's what our light bite lunch is going to be before we go back to work in the afternoon.
Oh, nice. Sounds good.
Yeah. So tell me, if Clever Little Handies hadn't started, for you, what area would you like to have got on to?
Gosh, that's a really good question, because I don't know who I would have been, because before I became a mum 10 years ago, I was living in New Zealand. I was a business support manager. I had a very sleek bob. I had a motorbike. I used to go snowboarding every weekend at winter. So I had a very, very different life. And then becoming a parent, I always say it kind of breaks the person, be it mum or dad. It breaks them, and you kind of rebuild yourself. And in that rebuilding, or that rebirth of me and who I am and who I have become, the shell of the old Claire is left behind. I don't think it would suit me to be a business support manager as a mum, because they're more important to me now than my job was. Now what's important to me is having a job that coexists with motherhood. So I don't know, if there was no Clever Little Handies, I'm pretty sure I'd be doing something for myself, working for myself. I'd be some sort of an entrepreneur, and it would be some sort of job that would coexist with being a mother and having the family. And I recognize that I'm very lucky to be in a position to be able to do that, because so many people work so hard to get the degree, and that work so hard to get their foot on the corporate ladder, and they work so hard climbing that. And I sort of fell off the ladder because I moved home to Ireland from New Zealand. I had already fallen off that ladder before I became a parent. And I know that there's loads of mums that are on that ladder and holding on for dear life, going, I worked too hard to get here. I can't give it up. But it's a real struggle that to make the two coexist amicably. It's really difficult. And I honestly, I don't know what I'd be doing if it wasn't for Clever Little Handies, but I do think it would be something for myself.
Yeah.
Maybe a life coach or something.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's so true. And unfortunately, and it's not something exclusive to Ireland, but for a mother to have a successful corporate career as well is so difficult. And there should be no difference whether mother, father, just shouldn't make any difference. But unfortunately, it still does. And there's still a stigma around, right? Like, is she going to pop out another kid and we're going to have to give her another 6 months off?
Yeah.
So we can't risk promoting her based on that, or whatever the ethos may be. And it's very, very scary. I see we have a comment coming in there for you, Claire. Maggie is saying that's a great idea for young children.
Thanks very much.
Right, well done, Claire. Actually, you will have actually seen some of Maggie's work. Maggie is who has done our search for the last number of years for us. So
oh yes, yes, I have. Thank you, Maggie. I have your 3 of your certificates.
So,
Of
as a
course, I'd love
previous winner,
to have 3. There was 2 in 2021 because you
yeah,
had branched off into the Ireland
we-
and UK awards,
yes,
and then and they were the virtual one, isn't it? That was
yeah,
the virtual year.
yeah.
um,
2020 and 2021 were the virtual years where we would have been absolutely lost without Maggie's support um, in doing that. And actually, while we're on the subject, we will just make mention of this. Yes, indeed. The finals of the Micro Business Awards are approaching so quickly. It's almost scary at this stage to realize that we're only about 3.5 weeks away from announcing all the winners. If anyone would like to sponsor a raffle prize, because we do a lovely door raffle on the night as part of the night, and again, no one's collecting money off it or anything. It is purely based on door tickets. If anyone would like to sponsor a raffle prize, if you just drop us an email at microbusinessawards@gmail.com with the subject raffle, and we can make arrangements to collect anyone that can offer a prize. We can make arrangements to pick it up. I do know that among the prizes we have this year, our friends in Carol's Hampers have given us a beautiful hamper to give away. I know, trying to think now, Stone Business Consulting have given us vouchers. JVC Photography, we've vouchers in from them. So there's going to be a huge amount of prizes on the night. So, but if anyone could sponsor anything, it would absolutely be greatly appreciated. As again, the people that come out to the awards night, it might be the one night a year they get a chance to get out, and it's just nice for us to be able to give back to all these wonderful micro businesses and to celebrate the importance of micro business and the importance of coming together as micro businesses. So, as I said, we've only have a few weeks left to go, and we will see you all on the 21st. So, in your case, Claire, you have been very lucky in the area you live in that you've managed to acquire quite a lot of support through the likes of Leo and that type of thing,
Yeah.
right? How easy or how difficult did you find the process of getting these supports?
It was pretty straightforward. But like before COVID, it was pretty straightforward. Set up a meeting with the LEO, the local enterprise office in Kildare, because I'm in Kildare. I met with that person initially who said, well, you could discuss the trading online voucher. So okay, you're going to need a website, and if you sign up and do the trading online voucher course, we can provide funds like a grant towards getting your website all up and running and all that kind of thing. Now this was back in 2019, yeah, around the middle of 2019, when I had done that initial consultation or that initial meeting, and kind of, oh, you can do A, B, and C, and so on. And then when the lockdowns happened and I was homeschooling, I was like just focused on that and kind of going, wow, what's going on? Like everyone else in the country, right? And I kind of didn't pursue it. And when I realized then, okay, that's still there and I can do this now, and I had my classes online and the kids had gone back to school in September, then I kind of was like, okay, what can I get out of the LEO? What's available there? So there's mentorship, and there's, as I said, the trading online voucher that became a webinar. So instead of going to an office in Naas, or they do it sometimes in the Springfield and Leaks, they have them in different settings. But instead of going somewhere to do it, I was able to do it online on Zoom, or Google Meetings. I can't remember what the platform was. And from that, then I kind of opened up my eyes to this whole new world of access, that I was able to do stuff from home pretty much at my leisure. Like when the kids had gone to bed, I could now log in and do what I needed to. So There was mentors work, was another one that I was doing. The Entrepreneurs Academy was a course that I did, Kickstart Your Own Business. I did a Start Your Own Business course with the LEO, the Trading Online voucher to get my website up and running. And there was, oh yeah, and I did my Irish Sign Language exams as well. And I was able to attend a course with Signature, and I was able to attend a course to get a QQI qualification as well. And I was able to do all of that because of the online platforms, which I wouldn't have been able to do if it was all in person, because, you know, being a work at home mum, a homeschooling mum, wearing all of those hats, I wouldn't have been able to go out and do that. I was able to do it all online.
Absolutely.
And
I'm
networking.
conscious that the clock is getting ahead of us, and I do want to talk about your book.
Oh yes, yeah, thank you. So the book is here finally, and it is the basics. This is essentially the basics, very, very basics that you would probably use with a baby. So you've got wet, dirty, poopies, nappy, all those kind of things. We've got the Irish Sign Language alphabet in here, and this is the kind of framework for the signs. So when I'm doing my classes, I only have about 100 signs that we do over the 4 weeks, and it's taught through nursery rhymes, songs, poems, and then we've got the illustrations inside. The illustrations were by another Kildare woman, Megan Hussey, and she's from Clane. So they are absolutely gorgeous, and it's all the kind of things that you'd use with a little person. But the plan is to have more. I really want to have as many Irish Sign Language board books as there are British Sign Language and American Sign Language. So I have a lot of work to do to get it up to par with them.
Absolutely. Now, for anyone who is watching this who's thinking, I really want to know more. Now, we have had for the last while, we've had your website scrolling across the bottom there, but also, what is the best way for people to make contact with Clever Little Handies? Is it just go straight to the website and contact you through that? Is it through social media? What's the best way?
I'm not great on social media. Like I have a Facebook, I have Instagram, I have LinkedIn, I have TikTok even, and I'm terrible. Don't do TikToks at all. I have all of them, but I'm not great at it. I'm that generation that's just a little bit off the cuff, what's trending. But yeah, if you go to the website, you can find all of those. You can and it's got Linktree, so you can find Instagram and everything. But also, if you sign up to the newsletter, I will email every couple of weeks when I've got something new coming up. Because when I do a class that's for a library, and it's booked up like that. You know, they're gone in 60 seconds. They're booked out. And then when it's an online one, then that's a bit slower to disappear because it's online. We've all got that Zoom fatigue a little bit. But for someone down in the wilds of Kerry that can't come to one of my classes up here in Kildare, it's handy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As I said, it's such a unique idea. It's such a wonderful business, and well, no, and I mean, again, like I know from talking with the judges over the years, as unfortunately, you didn't make it as a finalist this year, and that wasn't that there was anything wrong with your entry. It's just like the entries this year.
I honed it down this year and didn't enter all of the across the board. Whereas last year when I won the Digital Genius Award, which I was like, oh, I don't know if this is justified because I'm not a digital genius. But I suppose my website is there, and it ticks all the boxes. And I'm putting up blogs and
well, I mean, for example, when it comes to Digital Genius, I can tell you straight off what the judges are looking for. They are looking for original, beneficial content, right? They're not looking to see the same things being spoiled out. They don't want to see on your social media, come and buy off me, come and do my course, right? They want to see interaction. They're looking at, is there actual genuine, valid information here? Is there something being offered for nothing to draw people in? So, I mean, that's how you ended up winning it last year, because I know the judges absolutely loved it. But it is like it is a very, very tough job, and I do have to give thanks to our panel of judges. Right, well, unfortunately, Cheryl is shouting at me in my ear that we have run over on time. So thank you very much. We will be back in 2 weeks' time when we will have our budget special with all the good news, and we're all going to stay very positive that it will be all great news coming out of this year's budget. And until then, I wish you all a good afternoon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.